G'day, this is Peter from Casa James, and I'm relaxing here on the balcony. I've got my coffee and I'm enjoying life on a Saturday. Love that morning coffee. So today I'm going to share something very important with you, gentlemen. If you haven't dated Filipina already, or you're new to dating Filipina here in the Philippines, then I'm going to give you some tips, and I'm actually going to tell you my top 10 rules when dating here in the Philippines. I'm going to start with least to most important. So number 1 being the most important, number 10 being the least. So let's get started and start with number 10. Number 10 is a bit of an obvious one. Don't send any money whatsoever. Zero zip, nada, nothing, okay? Don't send money. Let me give you the perfect example. Let's say you're meeting online. It could be a dating website. It could be on Facebook. It could be a Facebook dating group. So Filipina meets foreigner. And you're meeting online, and then just after a few minutes of chatting, the girl says, I'm doing it tough. I don't have food. I'm hungry. I'm really poor. Please send me money. Now, despite the situation, it might be a very bad situation, someone's sick in the hospital. That is true and that is possible. However, a lot of people online are scammers. They're trying to scam you. A genuine Filipino who is interested in having a long-term relationship will very, very rarely ask you for money, and definitely not in the first stages of dating. Okay, that does not happen normally with a normal relationship. So that's not normal. Do not accept it. And if you find those people, hit the block button. Number 9. So number 9 is trust but verify. And what do I mean by that? So you might find a Filipina and she says, she's a single mum. She's got 1 or 2 kids already. And she's quite young. She's very attractive. Maybe she's only, 19, 20, 21. She's quite young. And she says she's never been married before. She's single, but yet she has 2 kids. Why is that? You have to question these things and find out, does she still have a boyfriend? Again, it comes back to the last one that I mentioned about money. They could just be chasing the pera, chasing a sponsor to get some money. That is possible, but not all Filipino are like that. In my experience, most Filipino are very genuine and very beautiful people, but you have to find the right one. So if they say that they're single and never been married, trust but verify. Actually, I've dated before, and then I've checked their Facebook and I found actually pictures of the girl with her boyfriend. Can you believe it? That has happened to me before. I've dated before and I've seen that, and I've heard that from several other foreigners also. So again, trust but verify. Number 8, no mail order bride. That's right. Don't get a mail order bride. What I mean by that is, do not rush in online or even in person, and maybe you've only met this woman for a very, very short amount of time. Maybe you've known her and chatted with her for a couple of weeks and met her once and twice in her home country, being the Philippines. And she says, look, she'll go with you, but she wants marriage, and she wants it now, right now, without delay. My answer to you is steer clear, because if they're expecting that straight away you get married, then that's a bad sign. You don't want to just jump in all the way to marriage and get wed straight away, and you're rushing things along too quickly. You need to slow down, take it easy, be friends first, date first, go through the motions before you get to wedding bells. Number 7, don't commit to a relationship too early. Actually, far often do I see expats fall into this trap where maybe they found a beautiful girl and they're really happy and they really like her, but they just want to, commit straight away. So, they want to commit and decide they're in a relationship straight away. What I would say is, don't do that. Be friends first. Build that foundation of being mates first, being friends, okay? And that takes time. So you might want to date her for 6 to 12 months before you actually say to her, hey, let's be in a serious relationship. Let's date seriously. Because what happens is, even being in a serious relationship here in the Philippines, once you commit and say, hey, look, I'm wanting to date you seriously and be with you, you're my girlfriend, then it's almost like being married. So hold off, be friends first, tell her that you want to be friends for a while, get to know each other, and make sure she's the one. Number 6, no long distance relationship. So you definitely do not want to commit to a long distance relationship, because that is very, very dangerous, my friend. Because what could happen is, you're in a long distance relationship, you never meet the woman, and she could be playing other guys for sponsorship money. So you've got to be really, really careful and make sure that she's genuine. Make sure she's the one. So maybe online for the first 3 to 6 months before you meet, you're chatting online, you're getting to know each other, is okay. But, long term, you need to make sure that you do meet her in person, and only commit after meeting her and spending time with that woman. So at that stage, then you can have a relationship and live together, right, in the same country, right? I don't believe in long distance relationships in the long term. Obviously, for many of those, long distance relationships is all they can have for a certain period of time. And I get that, I totally understand that. But at some point, you've got to bite the bullet and say, hey, look, this is not a permanent solution, and fix it. Number 5, try and find a woman who has a balance of beauty and brains. That's right. You want to find a woman who has both beauty and brains. So that sometimes can be hard. Now be careful in the Philippines, because you might find a very attractive woman that you're extremely attracted to, but you can't converse. It's hard to communicate with each other. So that woman might be maganda lang. So beautiful only. She might only be beautiful and might not have a head on her shoulders. So it might be difficult later in your relationship because she's not the brightest. Okay, so that's what I suggest, trying to find a balance of beauty and brains. You want someone you can have a real relationship with. You can have communication, good communication, because communication is the foundation of a strong and a very good relationship. Number 4, share hobbies. So what you want to do is have similar hobbies. You want to have, similar things that you can share, because if you don't have similar hobbies or topics to talk about or to do together, then that can really weigh heavy on your relationship. But if you do have similar hobbies, like for example, I love travel and I've found someone who loves travel and we can travel together because we just enjoy it so much, then we're going to have a great time. But if you find someone and you love travel and she doesn't want to travel, then that could be an absolute disaster. It could be something simple like you're a foodie, you love eating out and you love good food and cooking. Maybe you're a good chef, you're good in the kitchen. So you're expecting to find someone who is of the same. So she likes cooking, she enjoys cooking and tasting different foods. Try and find someone that you have something in common with, because otherwise you're going to have a bad time. Number 3 is truth and transparency. So what you want to do when dating here in the Philippines, don't act and be someone that you're not. Try and be true to yourself. Be yourself, be relaxed. Show that person who you are. If she doesn't like you for who you are, move on, because that's not the girl for you. You need to find the right one who loves you for you. Not for your money, not for someone that you're trying to pretend to be. Be yourself. Truth and transparency. And also, when you have truth and transparency in a relationship, it's like a wall. If you don't have it, you don't have truth and transparency, it's a wall. It's going to be a block in your relationship. But as soon as you're honest with each other and can show each other who you really are, then you break down that wall and you can truly connect and be a couple. So that's my suggestion. Be yourself. Number 2, wait before living together. Now, In the Philippines, you might have heard of this. Okay, the word instant girlfriend. In the Philippines, what can happen is, maybe you date a girl once or twice and then she comes back to your house and then she never leaves, okay? And she might not be the girl for you, but for whatever reason, you've skipped ahead a few paces and you've taken her home. My advice is don't do that. Don't do that early on. What you want to make sure is before she comes to your house, comes inside your home, that she's definitely the one. So my suggestion is wait at least 6 to 12 months before living together. At that time, you would have actually dated a lot, really got to know each other, and ensured that she is the right person to live with you. Now, if you don't do that, you don't follow this rule, it's really, really important, then you might have a really bad time later because you might be living with someone stuck, with this instant girlfriend in your house and not quite sure how to get her out. And that could be messy. Drum roll for this one. Number one rule that I say to all foreign expats, especially when you're living here, you've moved here to the Philippines, is play the field. The name of the game, the number one name of the game here in the Philippines is to stay single as long as humanly possible. Actually, once you commit to a long-term relationship here in the Philippines, you have to support, you have to commit. It's like almost being married pretty much. So be very, very careful and take it easy, step by step. You don't want to just rush in, live together, and then start a serious relationship straight away, because if you do that, then she might not be the right one. It could even lead to marriage and divorce, and that's not what you want. You want to spend the time to play the field and find the perfect woman for you. And the thing about the Philippines is there's just so much beauty here in the Philippines. There's so many beautiful women, and not just beautiful, but intelligent, educated women here too. And if you look long enough, you will find the perfect woman for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. This has been Peter from Casa James. Bye for now.